Moxxy Rogers, and today we're going to be learning about verbs. Let's get into it. So you might be wondering, what the heck is a verb? Well, I'm here to tell you a verb is an action word. This means it expresses either a state of being or something that is happening. For example, run, talk, and write are all action verbs. This means you can run, you can talk, and you can write. These are things that you can do or you can see happening. All verbs have a base form. This basically means if you were to look up the word as is in the dictionary, you'd find this word without any kind of conjugations, and I'll explain what conjugations are a little bit later. So the base form of the word indicates what the verb does, and any attachments provide a clarification on when the verb took place. For example, call is a verb all on its own. This is the base form of the word. It doesn't have anything added to it. You are making a call. Called is a conjugated verb that tells when the action of the call happened. And I can explain later in just a second what this ed at the end indicates for when this call happened. But that's how you know that the verb has been conjugated, because it is from its original form. It has been changed or modified. So there are basically three different types of verb tenses. You have your simple present tense, your simple past tense, and your simple future tense. Present tense basically means that what the verb is describing something that is happening right now. It is currently taking place. So for example, excuse me, he bakes the cake, she paints the picture, they enjoy the movie. As you can see, we are adding an S to the end of our base form word to make it present tense. The S is only added when the subject, and the subject is the person or the thing that is completing the action. That is, the verb is happening based off of this person's interference with it. So he is the subject, she is the subject, and they is the subject. But he and she, does anyone know why these subjects have the S at the end of their verbs? That's fine. Well, that is because he and she are not plural. They are singular. They are just one person, and they implies that there are multiple people. If it's plural, and this only applies to the present tense, you don't have to add an S. Think of the S means multiple of, and so if the subject is already plural, we already know that there's multiple things happening. We don't need to add another S. There's many rules that are broken in the English language, and one of them is I. So I enjoy the movie. Yes, this is a singular you, but you would not add the S to I enjoys the movie. It just doesn't really make as much sense rolling off the tongue and grammatically. So that's the one rule that is broken, or one of the rules that is broken with present tense. So past tense, moving on, he baked the cake, she painted the picture, they enjoyed the movie. As you can see, we're adding an ed to the end of our base form verbs to imply that the action has already happened. It has already taken place. It is in the past, hence the term past tense. And when you see with baked, baked ends with an E, so you're not going to add an ED to the end of baked because it already has an E. So one rule of thumb to help you along in the future when you're either writing your essays or you're reading, if it has an E at the end already, you don't need to add another E, because then you'd get something that reads like baked, and that doesn't really make much sense. So if it has an E at the end, all you do is leave the E where it is, add a D. If it's like the word paint and it doesn't have an ED at the end, or it doesn't have an E at the end, you're going to add the ED to imply or to state that this thing happened in the past. So she painted the picture, and they enjoyed the movie. As you can see, the rules for plural and singular subjects have stayed the same, and they're going to stay the same for the past and the future tenses. The rule of the S with the plural and singular subjects only applies to your present tense. Moving on to future tenses, he will bake the cake, she will paint the picture, they will enjoy the movie. This might be a little bit easier for you to understand simply because you don't have to do anything to the base form. All you do is add a helping verb. A helping verb is basically a verb that will indicate what the verb is going to be doing without having to change the base form of the verb at all. So for example, we use will here as our helping verb. He will bake the cake. This means he's going to bake the cake in the future. She will paint the picture. She's going to paint the picture in the future, and they will enjoy the movie, which means they will enjoy the movie later. It's not happening now. It didn't happen in the past. So those are basically our three different types of verb tenses. Are there any questions?